This Father's Day, when you ship UPS Air at the UPS Store, your items arrive on time or your money back, guaranteed at no extra cost. It's like the father of all shipping services. It shows up to the airport way too early, just to play it safe. It's overprotective about all the things that truly matter. And it's always prompt, especially to be with family. Make it your first choice to celebrate your dad. Ship UPS Air with our money-back guarantee, exclusively at the UPS Store U.S. retail locations. Visit the upsstore.com/air shipping for full details. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Money Moves on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Okay, I got a little overzealous in the commercial break betting on this semifinal that's about to get underway. By the way, out there in Atlanta, England-Argentina set to go head-to-head for the right to face Spain in the World Cup final coming up on Sunday. Stormy, Buonantony, Jonathan Von Tobel with you. Big hour on deck. Lots of college football to get to. Talk a little Major League Baseball. Any additional best bets at the end of the hour?
I have to correct something. So my mind, I made a very big mistake that you did not catch. And neither did our guest either. I'm sure maybe he did. He just didn't want to correct me. So all I saw behind Ani was red, white, and blue. He had a Netherlands shirt behind him.
So
Erling Haaland plays for Norway. Yes,
so
I made the mistake.
So I know you said Netherlands. You said you have the Netherlands shirt behind you. But I thought you were just making like a transition to not talking about the semifinal anymore.
Oh, no. I just saw red, white, and blue and just made the mistake.
I wasn't thinking that. I thought you were saying like Netherlands. I just thought you were like going on to a different team.
Same color scheme, starts with the letter N. What am I supposed to do there?
You know what?
We're just firing.
I'm proud of you for this moment, though. Owning up to a mistake.
I always own up to mistakes.
I don't know. You think you're kind of perfect.
Actually, I think I'm right all the time.
True.
I mean,
so that's my point.
Right. But when I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Okay.
That's a fact. I mean, it's binary. It's either you're right or you're wrong, and I'm wrong sometimes, and so that's going to happen. I am right about the Rocky stuff. Kelly Bidlin walked through here and looked around like he was going to be assassinated, and then leaned in and whispered, I think you're kind of right about the Rocky thing. You're all afraid to admit it, but I'm right.
No, I just think it was probably a really good movie at the time, and then it's gained like legendary status over the years, and your parents love it, right? And so it's just one of those
my parents have ever seen
types of things. Real quickly, crew, Darnell, Andrew, someone, can you help us put the World Cup game on the screen down here?
To the theme of our conversations earlier today, crew, she doesn't know who's back there.
I literally just said two direct individuals' names.
Exactly.
Oh, they already left?
Yep, all gone.
Well, they slipped out the back. That's not, how am I supposed to know that they slipped out the back door?
One of the running themes here for our audience is that Stormy never actually ventures to the back, never says hi to our crew, never learns their names.
Okay, that's not true at all. I don't go back there a ton except for when I'm bringing them food, something that you also never do, mind you. So we'll throw that out there.
True.
These are my people, all right? I had a party. I invited so many people.
It's true.
My friends, my dear friends, you're the worst.
We're underway. Second minute.
We are underway. Yes, second minute.
So I bet.
Go ahead.
I bet Jude Bellingham first and anytime. And then I have this English futures ticket. So we're all in on the three lines.
I already had both teams to score. I added England to advance, and then I liked the price on the Bellingham. So I tailed you and Ani on that one.
Let's do it.
Worth noting, though, again, so last segment, shout out Ani Sridhar for joining us at fantasyguru.com, breaking down this match and the World Cup at large. We also had Kelly Bidlin on talking all things Open Championship, the British getting underway later on tonight. If you missed any of it, you can always download Money Moves in podcast form wherever you get your podcasts. Listen on your own time. But because we were talking Open Championship, you showed me a soundbite earlier today that I think we absolutely need to play for our audience.
Yeah, I mean, I am one that doesn't lack for confidence. I am somebody that believes wholeheartedly in his takes, his opinions, and himself, and one should, because you don't want to take up any venture and really doubt the fact that you could achieve whatever you are trying to achieve in said moment. Having said that, it does not sound like Tyrrell Hatton has much self-confidence at this point right now, as he was tracked down during a practice round, and this is how the exchange went.
See, it was 5. It felt horrific last week in Scotland, and it's been a bit of a splaff show in practice. So, yeah, 5. Optimistic 5.
I'll see you last group Sunday.
Yeah, good one. I'll be on the sofa watching it.
He was asked to rate his game 1 out of 10, by the way, so 5 was the answer. Which I think is pretty interesting, especially because he's considered one of the better links golfers out there. Yes, he finished T17 last week at the Scottish, but I think a lot of people still expected him to do well this week, no?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe you're just being a little, self-deprecating. Yeah, whatever it is. But either way, interesting to hear a guy, and I think they're probably all going to be like that. We've seen a lot of guys come into a tournament either coming off of a brutal tournament. Colin Morikawa a few years ago comes to mind, had played the Scottish. It was like the first time playing professional links golf and was awful. And then you're like, well, if there's no shot he's going to win the British this year. And then it goes out, tears up the course, beats out Jordan Spieth in that one. So you see it all the time with these guys. So I don't think it's anything but a pretty funny clip for him. And by the way, if he wins it, I mean, we're going to play that thing over and over again.
So as far as this week goes, do you have any plays in pocket?
Yeah. So I'm going simple with this, and it ties into two golfers.
I'm curious if we have overlap.
I think we do. I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier, if you don't remember. But my bets for the Open, I did include Scotty Scheffler to win, so I've got him at 750. I have Chris Gotterup as an outright as well to win this thing too. Sorry, I'm pulling up my thing. It's not loading for me in my notes.
Well, to your point about Gotterup, when we had Kelly on earlier, he said he liked Chris Gotterup and Matt Fitzpatrick, both of which have won 3 times on PGA Tour this year, tied for the most of any other player.
Yeah.
So both of them very good form this season for sure.
And both of them to finish. So I've got, let's see. So Scotty Scheffler plus 750 to win outright. Scotty Scheffler plus 150 to top 5. Chris Gotterup 28-1 to win, and Chris Gotterup top 10 plus 275.
Both of them also, by the way, finished top 5 in the Open Championship last year as well. Tommy Fleetwood was another guy I was looking at not to win.
Can't do it, man.
Not to win because you just exactly.
This is going to be the year that he does.
You can't do it.
Yep.
He is 15-1 in the outright market, plus 170 though for a top 10. I think top 20s are always in play. He is still obviously searching for his first major championship. If it could be out there in England, that would be great. But 7 top 5 finishes, including runner-ups at the 2018 U.S. Open, 2019 Open Championship. 7 top 5 finishes without a major title are the 5th most over the last 50 years. He has been so close so many times, yet I still don't think that he's going to win this week, but I think there are several other angles and ways that you can ultimately bet on him. Second at the Open in 19, 6 top 14 finishes, last 7 starts, 13th last week. Mm-hmm. A lot to like about Tommy Fleetwood if you're betting those top 20s, top 10s. I have been shorted on him, though, on a couple top 10s that are very frustrating. T11 or something like that makes me want to die, but I think that's a good way to play it for sure.
I feel like that's not important.
Whatever. Last few minutes here, though. I know you, because we are at kind of this reset point in the Major League Baseball season, and obviously had the All-Star game last night. You've been looking ahead at some of those adjusted win totals for teams in play, in addition to some of the to make or miss the playoff odds we discussed the other day. Who are you looking at from a win total perspective?
All right, so there's 4 teams that I think are pretty interesting. Now, I do this on purpose in our rundown. I would like you to guess what direction you think I'm looking at for these teams, because I did not put in our rundown what I believe we're looking at here. So Detroit Tigers, adjusted win total at the break, 77.5, over plus 105, under minus 125. What would you initially think? This one's easy.
Well, you've been a buyer and like them to make the playoffs, so over.
I would think so. I think over 77.5 makes some sense. I think also we should point out that Detroit, 26th in terms of remaining strength of schedule, which means they are the 5th easiest schedule left in Major League Baseball. So they've got a favorable schedule in front of them. They've got the signs of being a buy-on team, losing record, positive run differential. Scooble's been pitching a little bit better. We'll see if they decide. I don't think they're going to trade him at the deadline, but crazier things have happened. But I would assume that they're going to make a push in both a American League that has an attainable wild card spot and a conference, a division that is also still winnable at this point right now for the Detroit Tigers. So 77.5 over for them at plus 105 with one of the easier schedules I think makes some sense. Tampa Bay Rays, adjusted win total 90.5 at the break, over minus 125, under plus 105. What do you think? Well,
the over is juice, so the market thinks over, but I'm assuming you think that number might be a little bit too high for a team whose preseason win total was 77.5.
I think that total might not be high enough. The reason why I want to bring this up is not only that, because again, to invoke remaining strength of schedule, Rays have the 3rd easiest schedule left in Major League Baseball post All-Star break. But as you look at the way the American League is shaping up too and how easy their schedule is, not only over that 90.5, but finding some markets on them to have the most wins in Major League Baseball, I think is also, Mitch and I mentioned this in passing on Pod to the Futures, but I think it's something that's kind of worth mentioning here, that Rays right now are 15-1 to have the most wins in Major League Baseball. And given the ease of their schedule and how well that they have been playing, I do think that maybe not only just going over 90.5, but potentially asking them to go out and have the most wins in baseball. They are 5 games behind the Los Angeles Dodgers right now. Technically 3.5 if you're looking at the loss column here, but 5 victories behind them. Dodgers have 61, they have 56. With that schedule, with the fact that the Dodgers, look, you got like Ohtani with the knee irritation and whatnot, so maybe you're just going to kind of cruise to the end given where you're at in your division and whatnot. The Brewers are up there as well. You have to surpass them, but given what they have in front of them, I think the Rays at that price are not the worst, man.
And I'll say, not that we expected the Rays to do what they're doing right now, but this was a team in the preseason. We talked about being able to play back at the Trop this season and having a lot of things that they could be trending up. We liked the over on that initial win total, but now, again, adjusted from 77.5 in the preseason to 90.5 with what they're doing now. Ranked first in Major League Baseball as well at home this season. 5th in run differential, 5th in OPS. They have been awesome. Okay, go down the list. So the Mets, their win total is, preseason, they were more in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So high expectations that they obviously have not lived up to. Fired their manager, 71.5. Is that low enough, in your opinion?
Under.
Okay. I got one right.
This is my curiosity here with the Mets is they have the hardest schedule left in Major League Baseball. Of their remaining opponents, win percentage of the remaining opponents is essentially at 54%. They've got 3 against the Dodgers. They've got a couple of series left against the Brewers. They've got the Rays. They've got 2 against the Braves. They've got the Yankees. They still have 7 games left against the Phillies as well. So of their 65 games left, quite a few of them are coming against some of the best teams in Major League Baseball. So you do wonder on a big name team like this, are you just going to kind of let go of the rope and see what happens with this group? What does the deadline look like for them? So I thought that was it. And then just to roll through this last one really quickly, just out of curiosity, because I've got a win total on this team. But Astros, 79.5, over -115, under -105. Again, invoking your remaining strength of schedule, the second easiest schedule left in Major League Baseball, a team that might have an American League MVP. And you look at the teams that they have remaining on their schedule. They have 2 sets against the Angels. They've got 2 sets against the A's, one of which is a 4-game set. There's a lot going on. So I do wonder if the Astros are going to make me really, really sweat this thing out with a win total that I have under for them on the season.
For the Mets, real quickly, looking at some of their metrics so far here at the break. Runs per game, 4.1, 25th in Major League Baseball. Average, 26th. OPS, 28th. But one thing that I do wonder if maybe you can get a little bit of turnaround in the second half. Yep. 9-17 in one-run games this season, second worst in Major League Baseball. Could they win a couple more of those coin flip games moving forward?
I mean, one would assume, but sometimes you don't get that correction until the next year.
Fair, 100%. Okay, we got to step aside here on Money Moves. When we come back, we will keep you updated on the ongoings of the World Cup. Still 0-0 right now between England and Argentina. And diving into plenty of college football the rest of the hour.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is that you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. VSiN Pro gives you access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Just tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This Father's Day, when you ship UPS Air at the UPS store, your items arrive on time or your money back, guaranteed at no extra cost. It's like the father of all shipping services. It shows up to the airport way too early, just to play it safe. It's overprotective about all the things that truly matter, and it's always prompt, especially to be with family. Make it your first choice to celebrate your dad. Ship UPS Air with our money-back guarantee, exclusively at the UPS Store U.S. retail locations. Visit the upsstore.com/airshipping for full details. Terms and conditions apply.
You're watching Money Moves here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back here on Money Moves, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM Channel 158, alongside Jonathan Von Tobel, Stormy Buonantony. Still 0-0 here in the World Cup semifinal between England and Argentina, as we are in the 15th minute currently. No real dangerous chances yet on either side. Argentina is leading possession to this point, but nothing really to write home about just yet. While we're talking football, might as well remind you football season is around the corner, and Winner's Circle Proxy and VSiN are giving away 2 incredible prize packs that'll put 2 lucky fans in the world's biggest football contest for free. One winner will receive a $1,000 entry to Circa Survivor, another a $1,000 entry into Circa Million, and both of you will receive a full season Winner's Circle Proxy proxy service, a VSiN studio tour. Come hang out with us, and a free month of VSiN Pro. You need to enter by Sunday, August 2nd, so still plenty of time for your chance to win. Head over to winnercircleproxy.com/VSiN. Enter today. That's winnercircleproxy.com/VSiN.
Yeah, to your point, and I think it was Ani who was with us earlier who stated this, that this is going to be kind of played in the midfield, and that seems to be exactly what's been happening right now. No generated expected goals so far. Slight edge in terms of possession for the Argentinian side. No big chances, no shots on goal, really nothing, and all kind of being played in the neutral zone, to use a hockey term right now.
And we did see a lot of money come in on the under. That juice closed around -175 on the big books, DraftKings and FanDuel. We're sweating out a handful of bets on this thing. You want England for futures purposes. I played England to advance and both teams to score. And we would like to see Jude Bellingham participate in the scoring as well if possible.
I'd like for him to be the first one to participate in
what were the odds
scoring.
on that?
6. No, that was the one on parlay. Just over 5-1. I'll tell you exactly what it is.
16 to 1 now for Golden Boot as well.
By the way, I like that angle too. I was going to bring that up, and also for the. Sorry, I know you wanted to go somewhere, but just that and the Golden Ball, like MVP, to use an American term. He has been really, really good. And I didn't realize that he had back-to-back braces in these knockout games. You kind of just watch these and don't really put it together. And he has been as we'll call it, the PTP, primetime performer. He has really been sticking out in a lot of these games. I was asking Alex because, look, I like soccer, but I'm not familiar with how good some of these players are. And so we were out at Durango watching over the weekend, and I asked, I was like, hey, every time I watch this Bellingham guy, he sticks out. And in his article today, as he called it, and Mitch Moss tweeted it out, Mitch Moss Radio, Alex called him in his article today the best English player he's seen put on that shirt. So he's been fantastic, and he's performing that you need him to. So I would think that even for the Golden Ball there, he is going to be up there for contention.
That's why I made the comment earlier for all of the fanfare that Harry Kane gets. Jude Bellingham's actually been the best player to this point. So we will keep tabs on this as we go. Mick Jagger on the screen right now. Perfect. But today is another big college football day. ACC Media Days are going on. We're going to preview the ACC a little bit coming up in the next segment. But today is also the start of our Money Moves college football top 25 exercise. JVT and I, we put our noggins together to come up with a top 25 from our perspective with college football. We're going to preview 2 teams each weekday moving forward until we're through all top 25, talk through some betting angles for each. So today, number 25 and number 24 starting at the bottom, but a team I am very high on actually in the Big 12. The Houston Cougars, third year now under Willie Fritz, had a big turnaround last year from 4-8 to 10-3. They are second in the Big 12 in returning production, second only to Texas Tech, and that includes starting quarterback Connor Wigman, who had an awesome season last year. Also, one of the few teams in the country, JVT, with the same head coach, same coordinators, OC, DC special teams, and the same quarterback all coming back. You know I am a sucker for continuity, and Houston has it in spades.
Yeah, I think so. With all that continuity, then I think you start to ask the question of, okay, what can you improve on from last year? Because if you have everything coming back, then you should be able to have some things improve. One of the things I think you'd really like to see is the improvement of this rushing attack. Not so much in terms of down-to-down consistency, although that can improve too. They were really actually a pretty poor team if you look at last year in terms of early downs, expected points added per play, really started to face a lot of long third downs, and rush explosive rate. They did not generate a ton of runs that were over 10 yards. You want to see some of that balance because they actually generated a ton of explosive plays through the air, completed passes of 15 or more yards, but they didn't do it on the ground. So if you can start to find that balance with all the continuity you have coming back, Wigman looked good, like you mentioned. So another year in this, I think that this should be a team worth reckoning with in this conference. And I think a lot of people expect them to be just that. But I would love to see that sort of improvement in those explosive elements, especially with their ground game.
I think there's a lot of potential for that to happen because while we mentioned all of the pieces returning, they also bolstered that roster with a really good transfer portal class, including in the trenches. This is a team that's expected to have some of the best trench play in the entire conference. One of the pieces that they added also, although Mekhi Hughes didn't have a great opportunity last year at Oregon, in Tulane under Willie Fritz, he had a lot of success in the run game, was a breakout star for the Green Wave. So can he get back to that to help with this offense? I think it's interesting. From a betting perspective, did anything stand out to you? They're a 16-1 shot, fifth on the board to win the Big 12. CFP odds plus 850 on the yes if you think they can be a team that can get out of the conference. Win total 8.5. It is juiced to the under, though, minus 156.
Honestly, so I think it really just does depend on what your expectation of them is from the improvement standpoint. I kind of actually, despite the fact they have all this continuity and there's a lot of belief that they could be a dark horse here, their schedule makes me lean under conference win total at under minus 130 or so. You look at some of the road trips they have to take in conference. They've got to go to Texas Tech. They've got to go to Kansas State. They've got to go to Utah. They have to go to West Virginia. Those are 4 brutal road trips. The home games are the easier contests, so maybe you can sweep those out. UCF, Oklahoma State, Cincinnati, Baylor. But God forbid, what if Oklahoma State is everything a lot of people expect them to be? And what if DJ Lagway fits in this new offense for Baylor? And now you're looking at 2 home opponents that look like on paper you can kind of circle them as probable victories. Then all of a sudden it becomes something pretty different. As much as I like this continuity, I think you can make the argument that under minus 136 on 5.5 wins in conference play is actually something worth playing.
Bringing up Lagway, by the way, does also remind me of Connor Wegman. Something that's held him back, both of them back throughout their careers, has been injuries. So that's another thing I think you probably need to look to if you are thinking an under maybe on Houston, is whether or not their starting quarterback will stay healthy. Let's go to 24. How about them SMU Mustangs? They are the second shot in the ACC behind only Miami. Miami is the biggest favorite of all of the Power 4 conferences this year, minus 136. SMU, the second shot at 7-1. They're plus 350 to make the CFP. 100-1 national championship shot. Win total 8.5. It is juiced to the over at minus 125. But Rhett Lashley back, and after we just talked about all the continuity at Houston, I will say my one real concern for SMU this year is it's the first time in Lashley's career he's had coordinator changes. Casey Woods is now a head coach over at Missouri State, and Scott Simons took an assistant job with the Cowboys. So 2 new coordinators in place for a team, though, that went 9-4 last year, was a field goal away against Cal from being in the ACC championship game, but obviously high expectations this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of it starts with Kevin Jennings, right, and his candidacy for a Heisman and being a starting quarterback for a team that could win 9, potentially 10 games this season. You're going to be up there for contention, and you read some of the reports, too. I mean, the team is very clearly aware of his potential to do this. You're going to have some opportunities maybe on this schedule to run up some scores and maybe get that done. Kind of like him to go over that. I think minus 125 is a fair price to lay. You had this in your notes. It's one of the swing games might be that road game against Louisville very early on,
Week
September 19th.
3, baby.
Yep. Well, and that's a tough kind of sandwich, don't you think? I mean, at Florida State, I know where the Seminoles program is at this point, but to open up on the road against, we'll call it a comparable opponent, you get the middle spot against UC Davis and then go take on Louisville. So that is interesting. But you follow that up with, I believe it's 4 straight home games. You should be able to stack up wins here. And I think that they're a team that, again, is going to be floating in that 9-10 win range and find themselves in contention for a conference championship.
And to your point, that opener against Florida State is that Monday night standalone ESPN game as well. So all eyes will certainly be on that one to see how they begin the season. But yeah, I think a double-digit win season is really a potential reality here. They don't have a gauntlet of an ACC schedule, although that start is something to keep an eye on, and at Notre Dame at the end of the year. So, like, those are the big games that stand out to me. You have a third-year starter in Kevin Jennings that you would hope and assume, even though, like, in the playoff performance opportunity they had 2 years ago, I know he didn't have his best game, but he's somebody at this point in his career you imagine should have pretty darn good command of the offense and what he's doing.
Yeah, I do wonder. It is just an interesting, I guess, is it irony? That you end the season yet again on the road on the West Coast to take on a team based out in California. Last year it did not go well. This year you got to go to Stanford. You better take care of your business.
This is what's so crazy about SMU for me, because I'm a big Rhett Lashley person. Yeah. I think more often than not he gets his team ready and you don't have those slip-up spots. Last year they had 2 of them, though. Yeah. You lose a 1-point game to Wake Forest. Yep. And you lose by a field goal to Cal. If you win one of those 2 games, you're in the ACC championship.
You were at the Cal game? No, you weren't, right?
No,
okay.
I had
You had a weird ACC game. What was it?
We'll talk about it in the next segment when we're previewing the ACC, but I was there for the Louisville-Cal upset at Louisville. That's another one of those. Cal was an ACC, like, killer.
I remember.
Look at you.
Yeah, I remember these
things. Jaron Chiave Sangapulitele, baby.
Yep. You tell people. Did you never asked me why I texted you the other day at all?
Oh, no, about Nico Iamaleava?
Yeah. Out of nowhere, I just texted Stormy, send me a voice memo of how to say Nico's last name. And you obliged. You sent it to me.
I gave you 2.
Yeah.
Just in case you misheard it on the first one. I doubled down.
Yeah, you did. I was listening to a podcast, and they were pronouncing it weird. And I was like, is this how you pronounce it?
I remember when he first came out, a local news station did one of those fun, like, ask the fans how to say his name. And they all took the I at the front of his last name as an L. So it was like Lalo Miava.
My thing is, like you told me, I do it in the wrong cadence. I keep going to Yamaleava.
It's not too wrong, but yeah, it's just the
what is it again?
Synchronicity. Iamaliava.
All
right, we got to step aside, though. That's a great segue, though, to our next conversation, previewing the ACC at large. We'll discuss the tiebreakers change and what potential dark horses maybe could be creeping up in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Stick around.
You're watching Money Moves here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Man, it's crazy to think football season is already almost here. Whether you're betting futures, win totals, division races, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Super Bowl odds, anything, our guide can help you get ahead of the market before training camps get underway. Inside, we've got breakdowns of all 32 teams with projected win totals, best bets from your favorite VSiN show hosts and experts, futures analysis, power ratings, and so much more. You can get it today as part of our football special for just $175. The sooner you sign up, by the way, the more value you get. You get full access to everything we do here at the network across every major sport through next year's Super Bowl. So that includes daily best bets, real-time bet splits from DraftKings and Circa, AI-powered prop projections, and 24/7 video on the VSiN Watch app. But you only get the guide if you're a VSiN Pro subscriber. VSiN.com/subscribe is how you can sign up. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Same situation, mind you, for the college football betting guide that will be out the first week of August. We had VSiN's own Adam Burke, managing editor here at VSiN, on the program earlier this week, breaking down, I guess it was yesterday, feels like it was so long ago, talking about some of the work that he's put in. You're previewing a couple of conferences. I can't believe college football season is already almost here. I'm gassed up about it.
I mean, it's here, man. Like
it is.
Like you mentioned, the media days are here. I'm really excited to get down to the Mountain West Media Days, check out what's going on. You talk about things that are just jarring to the eye. I was looking at I can't remember who was there, but it was at Mountain West Media Days. They were just doing a pan of all the new uniforms. You know, all the conferences. They put up all the uniforms and everything like that. It's just,
UTEP doesn't look right.
Mountain West is not a good conference, man. You sift through it, especially at the bottom. It's awful. And they're not doing preseason polls this year.
Right.
And somewhat controversial. As you know, the Big 12 did it last year, and their whole excuse was Arizona State and whatnot. Mountain West is not the Big 12. I don't know if you know that. And I think my logic, my conspiracy theory is that they did not want the new arrivals to all finish at the very bottom of the poll outside of North Dakota State.
Which is funny, though, that the FCS program that's making the jump up to FBS is one of the true contenders potentially in the conference as well. So that's another wrinkle to it. We'll talk more Mountain West as we go here, but it's also Sunbelt Media Days and ACC Media Days. And we want to give a little love to the P4 first, especially considering
they
Miami.
Deserve it. They never get it.
Miami out of the ACC did make the national championship this past year. I told you last segment. They are the largest favorite of all of the Power Four conference favorites, minus 136 at the top of the ACC there. And it was a weird season overall for the conference. Commissioner Jim Phillips this morning on the podium touted 7 teams finished with 9+ wins. Yeah, but there was also a 5-way tie for second that had us using combined win percentage of conference opponents as a tiebreaker that ended up propelling a 7-win Duke team that also lost to UConn ahead of others. So because of last year's outcome, we got some other updates today at Media Days for the ACC, and I think just some changes and reminders for those of you that might not know some of the changes for the college football playoff format this year. In previous years, it was the 5 highest ranked conference champions that made the CFP. But after Duke was held out last year, Tulane and JMU were ranked higher than Duke. Now each of the 4 Power 4 conference champions will have a guaranteed spot. The highest ranked team for the G5, mind you, regardless of whether or not they're a conference champ, will also have an automatic bid. And another change to the CFP, Notre Dame, if they're ranked in the top 12 at any point, not at any point, but anywhere in the top 12 will be in the CFP.
Right. It's just any point in the season, if they're in the top 12, they're in. No. At the end of the year.
But the story being they can't be bumped by another at-large team if a conference champion leapfrogs them in the field.
Okay. So with these new championship tiebreakers in the ACC,
yes.
you were, and there were some others that were potentially harping on a potential issue?
I just don't think... I think that there is a much cleaner way to do this than they have done. But because of what happened last year, they now have prioritized 3 main bullet points. Head-to-head results will always matter most, according to their document. It's all on the ACC website, by the way. No team will be overly rewarded or penalized based on the number of conference games it plays. And that's a note because the league is moving to a 9-game league schedule, but several teams had previous Power 4 games already scheduled and will only play 8. tough because now you're comparing essentially a 7-1 team and a 7-2 team, hypothetically, as the same, which they are not. So I don't love that. And then when head-to-head competition can't separate the tied teams, the team with the strongest overall body of work will earn the opportunity to compete for the ACC championship in the league's auto bid. Body of work determined by power ratings from Sports Source Analytics, which is the same analytics power ratings company that we have complained about for the Mountain West rankings in the past.
UNLV made it into a Mountain West championship game because of that. Started the run. Okay, I mean, I get that. I mean, leaving it up to the computers, it sounds like that's like the ultimate final rung on the ladder.
Yeah,
so it's not going to get there more than likely, you would hope?
They said that they have done more than 10,000 simulations, and this has been the best outcome of all of their sims. So we'll see if it works. I just feel like, wouldn't it be cleaner?
How do you judge best outcome?
Exactly.
Like, yes, Miami
Right?
keeps making it.
I don't know how they come up with these things, but they do. That said, so to me, and I'm curious your opinion on this, this is a conference that you can pretty clearly and definitively separate into 3 tiers. So Miami, as we mentioned, the favorite. I would put them, SMU, who we just talked about in the last segment, Louisville, and I think fair to say Clemson as well, as your top tier of true actual contenders for the conference.
Can I quibble with Miami's on their own and then SMU, Louisville, Clemson can be on their own if they'd like?
Okay, so now we have 4 tiers instead of 3. Yeah. I'm fine with that.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, they're obviously the odds-on favorite, and everybody else is looking for a second place.
I'm just putting them in the chunk of teams I really feel like have a possibility of winning.
Yeah.
The next 9 or 10 teams, middling, where sure a dark horse can emerge from. Then there's the bottom of the barrel teams like Boston College, Stanford, North Carolina. I could throw Syracuse in there as well because of all the pieces that they lost. Like, those are teams that if you are another ACC team, you see them on your schedule, you're clocking that as a dub in your mind, right? So that's kind of how I view the conference.
Yeah, I think that's fair. When you look at where this is at, we hit this yesterday, but this very much seems to be a top-heavy conference that doesn't have much depth to it, and the bad teams at the bottom are going to serve as an anchor of types and weigh it down in terms of its overall conference strength. So I would agree with you for sure.
Any teams from that middle tier, so the non-Miami, SMU, Louisville, Clemson?
I mean, I'll go with the low-hanging fruit. I mean, you have to be intrigued by what Virginia Tech's going to be, do you not?
Sure. One of 3 new head coaches, by the way, in the ACC. So you have James Franklin coming over from Penn State. Cal has Tosh Lupoy, who's a defensive coordinator at Oregon. And then Tavita Pritchard, former Stanford Cardinal, back at the alma mater.
I mean, I think those 2 are with not just because they have new head coaches, but Cal doing what I think surprised some people, finding some money and going, all right, we're going to keep Jaron Cave-Sango-Pulatele. We've got some returning production. We've got arguably one of the best quarterbacks in college football. And maybe a future pro at that, by the way. And we're going to really invest in this program to try to improve it. I think Lupoy is going to be a pretty good coach with a defensive background. I think all of this put together seems like Cal and Virginia Tech, like those 2 seem to be the risers up from that pack if you're going to have them.
Yeah. Cal, I think shocked is fair to say that they were able to keep JKS.
A lot of people for, yeah.
Tosh Lupoy, right after he was hired and had his initial team meeting, he has the team meeting, Jaron's not there.
Yep.
And he gets on a plane to Hawaii that night to go fly out there, meet him, meet his family, and make the sales pitch. So that they were able to keep a guy who has a true freshman, 3,500 yards, 64% completions, 18 touchdowns, 9 picks, for him to be able to be the centerpiece of everything you want to do, massive feather in the cap for Cal that won a lot of games that I think people didn't expect them to win a season ago. So even without Wilcox, can you take those steps forward? The 2 big issues that he had navigating the offense last year was wide receivers just not catching the passes that were thrown to him. He can put it wherever you want to put it. I mean, their best wide receiver was also like 5'6" in DeJesus, if you remember.
Yes.
So the fact
Jacob
that
DeJesus, former
UNLV Rebel.
There you go.
That you'll have a better complement of receivers this year, I think, is huge. Can you get the offensive line fixed, though? Because that was the other thing I think that really held them back.
Yeah.
So those are your 2 questions. We'll see. I do like Cal, though, as a team that's on the come up. They do have the UNLV Rebels on their schedule, by the way, which I think is going to be a pretty interesting coin flip game.
Yes, that's going to be an absolute banger of a game. I cannot wait for that one, too. It should be a ton of fun. But, yeah, I think that I'm with you in the sense because I think you're pretty high on this Cal team. In as high as you can be for a team that is priced where they're at. Is that fair to say? So I'm with you that I think Cal is going to be – when you have a quarterback like that, it just raises your floor, especially in college football. And JKS seems to be one of those special quarterbacks that's going to be able to do just that.
Portal class ranked 2nd in the conference behind only Miami, 14th in the country. So they did as much as they could to try to invest around him.
It's amazing what happens when you get money all of a sudden, right?
It's amazing. Yeah. Pitt, I think, is another interesting team. Mason Heinschel takes over for Eli Holsting. Holstein was hurt a lot last year. He, by the way, now is at Virginia fighting for a job. But Heinkel was really good, didn't relinquish the job, just a sophomore, young guy, big frame. In 10 games last year, 2,300 yards, 16 touchdowns, 8 picks, 64% completions for him as a freshman as well. The defense should be tough and turn you over because they always do under Pat Narduzzi. Pretty favorable schedule for them as well. So that's the only one I would add from that pack, unless you want to throw in the NC State Wolfpack because they have the easiest schedule in the ACC.
Yep, I would agree. If you want a quick update here, they're getting rough out in Atlanta. We've actually had quite a few scuffles. We've got a yellow card already awarded. Absolutely nothing in terms of expected goals. 0.06 to 0.02.
Sheesh.
This has just been a game played in the middle of the field, and it has been ugly. And it has been somewhat low scoring. You have both teams to score?
Yeah, I was hoping for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
Looks like I might be
You got
closer
plenty of
to a
time.
0-0
I wanted to look. I've
true.
got Jude to score here, and he did draw a foul right outside of the box, but did not get it done.
The second half scoring, like we've seen a lot of 0-0 half times.
What have we talked about these extra time or these stoppage time goals, right?
No question about it. I can't believe we're already at the last segment of the day. Stick around as we wrap things up. Final thoughts for the day and best bets going into tonight.
Your package says delivered, but delivered where exactly? The hallway? The lobby? Your neighbor's apartment? Instead of playing detective with your deliveries, get a mailbox at the UPS store. We'll sign for your packages, text you when they arrive, and keep your deliveries low-key under lock and key. Get 3 months free mailbox services with a new annual agreement at the UPS store. For full details and to get your coupon, visit theupsstore.com/offer.
You're watching Money Moves here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
All right, wrapping up this Wednesday edition of Money Moves live from downtown Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. We're on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, SiriusXM channel 158. He's Jonathan Von Tobel. I'm Stormy Buonantony. Still 0-0 as the World Cup semifinal rolls on between England and Argentina. The most action we have seen is from a foul perspective. There are 6 combined fouls the opening 10 minutes, tied for the most in any World Cup game throughout this tournament so far. But that's about it. And as Wes Reynolds, our good buddy, tweeted, this feels like a Big Ten basketball game with all the clutching and grabbing we've seen.
Yeah, a little chippy here. So we got 3 minutes of extra time, stoppage time in this first half to see if we can get anything going. And the English are on the attack right now. Kind of surprised. I mean, they seem to be they've awarded or they've dished out 2 yellows so far, but they're also kind of letting them play. Like some of these fouls, they're just kind of letting go, or at least what I expect to be fouls. So we'll see. But the English are at least right now on the attack.
Speaking to some of the tweets, I know you have received a lot of them. Feedback on the Rocky situation. Didn't you say there were a couple that were actually okay for air to share? Or are there not? Because y'all, some of you, I don't know how those folks out there that don't know a person, have never spoken to them in real life, can say some of the vile things that you do on social media. It's crazy about a movie, no less, right? Like this isn't a real life conversation or but it's not even a serious thought at all. And the way people are coming from the jest is wild.
It's fine. Twitter's not real life.
All because JVT said he doesn't think that Rocky is good.
Yeah, it's not a good movie. I don't think so at all. I think it was boring. I don't think that the romance between Adrian and Rocky was genuine. I've gone into my reasons on this before, but I
loved the movie when I was younger, but I haven't seen it in a long, long time. Right. I don't think it's a movie that's aged well.
No, it hasn't. I mean, I saw it for the first time 5 years ago or whatever it was, and it was boring. But anyway, I mean, look, I like this tweet. Somebody said you like it if James Harden was in it, to which I responded only if he played Adrian. A lot of people are angry, like you said. Who cares? I don't like a movie that a lot of people find it. Let's see. Somebody just tweeted me and said, somebody find him and punch him for me, please.
Oh.
Somebody told me to jump off a building. A lot of different words for the word stupid. You can take that with your imagination, wherever you want it at that point. People accusing me. This is the one that offends me the most. You know me enough to understand why this offends me, Stormy. People are accusing me of just doing it for engagement that I don't believe.
No, you are truthful in your
yes.
analysis.
That hurts me more than telling me to jump off a building. I am genuine in my takes.
There are some people that just tweet for engagement. You're not one of those. Although I will say you do fight with people in the comments, which is something I am extremely against. You love it though, and it gives me so much anxiety.
Somebody called me a virgin. I got 2 kids. Joke's on you.
All right, no real segue out of that, but last couple minutes here, let's recap the bets quickly from yesterday, push it forward to today, because we do have some thoughts on the Open Championship as we get out of here. My lone bet from yesterday is still pending. We have the England-Argentina, both teams to score here. Hopefully we are able to get that through in the second half, because the first half, a whole lot of nada in the scoring department.
Yeah, I'm pulling for you. I think you might be able to. I mean, you would assume that the upside of both of these offenses, that you're going to get some sort of explosive nature in this attack at some point from either of them.
I also added England to advance as well.
Yeah, so I think, I'm really pulling for, look, if England can advance with a single goal from Jude Bellingham, that would be the ultimate result for your boys, so we'll pull for that.
Our good friend Dave Ross, by the way, host of VSiN.
I wonder what side of the argument he's going to be on here.
Every weekday morning. Love you guys. You could not be any more wrong about Rocky. It's a timeless classic one. I will tell my unborn children about it. Yeah. I didn't say there's anything wrong with it. I like Rocky, but I just haven't watched it in a really long time.
I'm going to issue the challenge.
My dad forced me to watch every single movie. He had the whole VHS set.
I'm going to issue a challenge right now, over the weekend, whatever it is. Sit down. Don't do it with Chris. No influences. I want you to just sit down and watch the movie.
Well, he doesn't like the Rocky franchise, so he would be a negative influence. Well, that's what I mean, though.
So that's good. You don't want him, so he would be a negative influence.
True.
I'm being fair here. I want your opinion on it.
Okay. Anything for you to grade?
If you survive.
Oh, yeah, you got the under.
Yeah. No, this one, yes, I have the under from yesterday. France, Spain, under 2.5 -105. We get there 2 goals from Spain, and that gets it done. So as far as this is concerned, yes, we have only one thing to grade, and that was a victor. So we need this. I don't want red X's tomorrow. Please, England, let's go. Push on. I do have some golf bets, though.
Hit it.
All right. We hit these a little bit earlier, but we'll reiterate. Just tied to 2 golfers, 2 similar bets. Scotty Scheffler at plus 750 to win, so on an outright there. Chris Goddard up at 28-1 on an outright. Scotty, top 5, and then Chris Goddard up at top 10, plus 135, and then a plus 225. I forgot to put this in the rundown. I'll put my thing up really quickly and tell you exactly what those numbers are. But banking on both of those guys this weekend.
I know, crew, I said have the Tommy Fleetwood sound ready, but if you could grab Scotty instead, because you have a couple bets invested in the world number 1. Let's hear from Scotty Scheffler on what he is playing for this weekend.
I don't really play for a place in history. I'm not playing for anything like that because it's going to sound a little morbid, but at the end of the day, I'm going to live my life and then it's going to end. And when it ends, I'm going somewhere else and I'm not going to be here anymore. And so legacy, all that kind of stuff was never something that really motivated me. I was always just loved competition. I love playing golf. I love waking up with butterflies because I'm going out to play a tournament and I get a chance to try and compete today. I love those feelings. And when I retire, I'm going to miss them. But for me, I was always just trying to get out, play, get the most out of myself. And I love the challenge of trying to play golf. I love trying to get the most out of myself, trying to not only manage my body, but my mind as well, and trying to control this little golf ball and to get it to do the things I want to do with it. And those are the things that always motivate me, is just trying to get the most out of myself. And I've never been one to play for history or legacy or anything like that.
I know we say this a lot about Scotty Scheffler, but the even-keeledness he has as an on-course and off personality, a very grounded person, I think that really came through in those statements. He obviously is looking to defend his British Open championship. Only 2 golfers in the last 40 years have been able to do that. So could he join that group?
Hope so.
You mentioned, 7-1, as high as 9-1, according to Kelly, and what he's seen out there in the market. So if you could get a buy low opportunity on Scotty Scheffler to do it, why not?
To give some clarity here, Scotty Scheffler plus 150 to finish top 5, and Chris Goddard plus 275 to finish top 10. But would agree with all sentiments too, by the way. We are all going to die, so all of this is pretty much meaningless, so just continue to do what you want to do.
If you're looking at some of the top 20s, top 20s, any of those placement markets, he has finished top 15 in 8 straight majors, tied for the 3rd longest streak in the last 30 years. He is looking to become the first player. No, sorry, that's the wrong one. Top 25 finish in each of the previous 5 Open appearances as well. 4-shot win last year. So he has a lot of good. I know this season hasn't gone to what we expect of Scottie Scheffler in terms of winning tournaments, but he has still been tremendous.
Yes. Well, yeah, we're holding him to his own standard. So it's not like we're going out there and telling him, hey, you're essentially Tommy Fleetwood. No offense to Fairway Jesus. We're holding him to the own standards that he has set for himself, which has been absolute greatness. So you're going to get there, man, in terms of being criticized for being great instead of I don't know how you would sort out the synonyms for words like that, but you know what I'm saying. Like he has been so good that even greatness to us is a failure for him.
One more player. I feel bad that this is the line of questioning he gets, but when you are one of the most accomplished golfers without a major championship, it is going to continue to happen. Here is Tommy Fleetwood on what it would mean to win a major.
I don't think I want to sort of look towards the future and worry about or think that I have to win a major to feel fulfilled. I think, like everyone else out here, we spend our lives giving it everything. And, it might happen for me, it might not. And, I don't want to think about it as, if it doesn't happen, oh my God, all of those hours I spent, chasing my dreams, what was it for kind of thing. So, whatever happens in my career, I will have, I'll be able to look back and say that I gave it everything. I had an amazing time doing it. I would definitely much prefer to have a major or two or three, in my, on my resume by the time my career's over. So, whether that happens or not sometimes is out of your control, but I think making sure that you have a great time chasing it is the ultimate thing.
He has been in excellent form. 6 top 14 finishes his last 7 starts, 13th at the Scottish this past weekend. But yes, his 7 top 5 finishes without a major title are the 5th most over the last 50 years. So can he get over the hump? I'm not betting him to. We talked about it earlier, just can't get there. But the top 20s, top 10s, I think absolutely reasonable plays on Tommy Fleetwood this week.
I like the nihilism that is overtaken the PGA Tour. This is great, right? Doesn't matter. We're all going to be gone.
I don't like the negativity, guys.
What are you talking about? Yeah, you're so bright and bubbly. Everything's got to have meaning, right?
It's very bleak. I am uncomfortable. All right. How late are you going to stay up tonight to watch the British Open?
I don't know. I think I'll stay up. Or do you go to sleep early and then wake up they go to sleep and then wake up at 2?
That's the way I would, considering you already wake up at 3:30, I think that's the way you should probably approach it.
I think that's the way to do it.
First tee time, Pacific time zone, 10:30 this evening. Have a great day, everybody. Follow the money with Mitch and Paul coming up after this.
Your package says delivered, but delivered where exactly? The hallway? The lobby? Your neighbor's apartment? Instead of playing detective with your deliveries, get a mailbox at the UPS store. We'll sign for your packages, text you when they arrive, and keep your deliveries low-key under lock and key. Get 3 months free mailbox services with a new annual agreement at the UPS store. For full details and to get your coupon, visit theupsstore.com/offer.